Welcome on back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Act 2, part... I literally just figured this out. Part 9. Come hell or high water. Oh no. This sounds like it's going to be an interesting, part. Act? Chapter? No, act. Good evening, innkeeper. Good evening, Grace. Could I ask for a drink? Anytime. What can I do you for? I'm pretty spent. Do you have something that will keep my mind awake for a little longer? You should have something that can do just that one moment. I'm assuming the title is because of the rain. Now that I see that it's raining outside, granted, it could mean something completely different. Alright. Sure, why not the silent owl? Oh, interesting drink, considering. Let's see here. So we need strength, intelligence, and a little bit of dex. Let's go with this one. So a bit of intel. A little bit of dex. And the rest strength. There we go. No? What did I mess up this time? Oh, don't tell me. We need a little bit of defense. That's lovely. Damn it. So it's not this one. Take it out. Thank you. Alright. So we need something that's gonna even everything out. Let's do this. And then get the dex up. And then intelligence all the way up. That's not gonna work, is it? No, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I feel that's not right though for the. It's driving me nuts now. Okay, how am I messing this up? Usually I don't have this problem. Yeah, we did that, so I don't understand what the hell is going on. Nope, not that one. Try that. Yeah, it doesn't do that, so. Grr! Okay, let's try this. No, that's all we need for the intel. For dex. Now intelligence. And now strength. This should be it. Keyword should. Silent. Oh, I'm such a freaking dork. It wasn't all the way full for it. Order up. I'm such a dork. Drink for the mind and soul. Enjoy. Thank you. This is just what I needed. What are you still so tired? Why are you still so tired? I thought you were done with your thesis. I am, which also means I need to figure out what to do next. The possibilities are endless, but not boundless, so considerations are a complicated endeavor. Have you considered a break? I have. If I know how this is gonna go, I deal with this all the damn time with content and work, and overall just trying to have time for myself. Titan Keep. If you had forever... Satan Keep. If you had forever, what would you do with it? Okay, so I was reading that right. I've never thought about that before. I like being an innkeeper, so I could just keep doing this forever. It's relaxing and safe, and I get to meet the most wonderful people in a wizard's all day. Forever is really long. Forever is a really long time. Isn't there anything else you would like to do? To be honest, when it comes to doing Uber, I would rather do that than doing deliveries, but Uber doesn't pay as much as Spark does, so deliveries it is. I'd love to go on a road trip. I've always wanted to learn how to play the harp. Now I'm content with my existence. I'd love to go on a road trip. Really? Where to? Anywhere, really. See the world, the forest, the seas. Stop by each of the 5 inner plane portals and see what all the hype is about. Would you go through? Not sure. I was thinking more about having a picnic and conversation nearby, maybe a nap. I could rate them by which fruits grow around them. Now you're making me curious. Would you send me your studies? You'll be the first one to know. What would you do with immortality? I would learn everything there is to learn, every language, instrument, skill, and facet of mortal existence. I would travel the plains with my brother and learn even more. Have an infinite amount of tea parties. We could come to those. When we were little, Hex could always make all the stuffed animals dance around our little tea table. We didn't have money for music boxes, so he just made up some songs for them to dance to. He sang them to me. If I had the time, I would love to write down all those songs and invent dances for them. You should make time for that. It's your time after all. And besides, while you don't have forever, you do have quite a lot. An 11 lifespan is nothing to scoff at, even if you only get half. Elven, not 11. Not if you got the human side of the lifespan. Oh, that's less time. It is, but I'll make the most of it. What will you do next, though? I'm not sure. I was thinking about going to Ashfadel, the capital of the Macquarie. Major and Magna Cree? I don't know. I heard the libraries that are 60 stories tall and rivers float through the sky in an exuberant display of mana. Sounds like a paradise for someone like you. Yes, but Hex really wants to stay here. He likes VSO, Zenith, and Ashen Grove. I think he likes how quiet it is, if you would believe it. I don't think he'd like the bustle of it all. You could just go without him. There is a Magparacian embassy in Zephyr. Their teleportation is expensive, but reliable. I don't think he wants to go back to Zephyr either. I won't make him. He could teleport himself in. He really shouldn't. He's quite a long distance, and he's always been awful at teleportation. He could take a ship. I appreciate the effort, but I don't think a ship would help make the decision acceptable to him. He's always going to follow me, no matter where I go. I think he doesn't want to miss out on adventures and celebrations or funerals. You can just tell him you want to go alone. But then he'd be alone too. Just talk to him, Grace. I don't want to spend our time together fighting. I just don't want him to spend it mourning me neither. You should tell him that. We'll have enough time to mourn you when you're gone. Unlike life that never ends. I suppose you're right. I like to leave something he can remember me by. Maybe I'll build my own wizard tower. Please do, I love those. Did she say tower or tavern? Pretty sure she said tower. Did you hear about the one on Marlow near Delwell? The one with the infamous neck. Why can't I say that bloody word? Magic cream fugitive? I'm not trying to cuss here, alright? The very same, it seems that its wizards has disappeared without a trace, leaving his tower vacant. I've always wanted to stop by for tea, but I don't want to be rude and intrusive, so I haven't. I wonder what he left behind. I'm sure it's a collection of fascinations and impossibilities. Couldn't you just teleport in to check? You can't exactly teleport in and out of well-protected places all willy-nilly. You might end up trapped or not a whole other plane. Or on a whole other plane. You might. Maybe that's what happens to the wizard. Maybe. No one seems to know what happened to him or who he even was, and no one seems interested in finding out either. Isn't that sad? A little. I don't want to disappear like that. You won't. I'll tell your story for as long as I'm around. How long is that? For as long as this world will bear me. You are very easy to bear. Thank you, Grace. Would you like to stay a little while? Please, I find the inn truly inspiring. I'll be here if you need a rubber duck. I'm counting on it. A lullaby. Hiya, innkeeper. I'm assuming their quest was successful, considering I got a achievement that says lullaby. Hiya, you two. A drink, please, or two, actually. Sure thing. Actually, what name are we on right now? Well. Or is still fine. Come on, that was a whole week ago. I was busy. Want to come up with a new one or new one now then? Can I come up with one? Sure. How about Kumo? I feel like he will look like a Kumo. It fits. He is just as stealthy as a spider. He is just as soft as a cloud. Let's go with that one. That's what I was thinking. I'm nothing like a cloud. You're fuzzy inside and you know it, you just hide it. Sounds like something, sounds like something a cloud would say. Our drinks, can we get them now? Of course. What would you like? Something sweet, bubbly, maybe. You're not helping your case, dude. If you can find something that you know. Sure, I'll see if I can find the words you're looking for. He's really not helping this case. Alright. Charisma. Alrighty. We could go with a sunny breeze, or we could go with a thousand winds, or we can go something simple. Spoken heart. Let's go with the spoken heart. We haven't done it in a while. Crap ton of charisma. All the way to the top. A little bit of strength. And a little bit of defense. There we go. We got spoken heart. Order up. Simple and to the point. So good charisma for those in need. Maybe you should try it then. Do you want to send it back? No. It's good. Glad to hear that. Okay, well, what can I get you? Maybe something that will make me feel like I could lift 1,000 clouds. Like I've got the strength of a dragon or something like that. Carolyn always says it's pretty tasty. I see. A Carolyn special then. If I remember, theirs is usually this one, Steel Tonic, or the Sailor's Courage, or this one, Southern Brawler. Well, let's go with the Southern Brawler. We haven't done it in a while. No, we literally just did it a few moments ago. I don't know what I'm talking about. Is there a fusion that we need to use for this one, or no? I mean, we don't need to, but it'll make it easier. Little bit of charisma. And I believe that's all we need, so strength. All the way up. Southern Brawler, order up. A regular favorite for another regular. Thank you. It's delicious as usual. That's what I like to hear. Like the new hair, by the way. Oh yeah, she does have a new hair too. That's cool. By the way, what's up with your hair? I like your new hair, by the way. Oh, you do? Thank you. It looks really nice, right? Kimbo rated it for me. Aww, he is such a freaking sweetheart. He hides it so much, though. He helped me calm down after we encountered the Myra Morgan. Yep, entirely sweetheart. He's sweet with kids, and he's sweet on her. But I should probably start at the beginning, right? I'd appreciate that. Alright, so what happened to the beginning? The ship to Ores. Right. I was a bit worried about the journey we were embarking on. After all, the seas around Boris are famously hard to traverse. With all the wild magic around it and all. Wild magic that's free-flowing, that's terrifying. But just before we left Zenith, we ran into Un in the midst of an arm-wrestling match against Inako. We took the opportunity to ask her for advice. Thought maybe she had traveled there before. You could have also asked me. She was closer. Right. Did she have any good advice? She did. With her help, we were able to avoid all of the dangerous maelstorms, sea stacks, and iceberg elementals. It must have made for a very relaxing journey. It did. It was very inspiring, too. We were able to see the dancing, colorful auras in the night sky as we drew closer. They were starless, but still breathtakingly gorgeous. I even started on a new song. It wasn't ready to be shared yet, though. I just wanted to sneak a peek. Well, you should have snuck better. A new song. Can I hear it? It's not done yet. Thanks to Un, we made it to Doris for a lot faster than we had planned. We also docked far away from the typical explorer's route. It was completely abandoned by everything but nature, as if no one but us had been there before. Kind of exciting. Very adventurous for sure. As we headed inland, we were quickly swallowed by the fog that engulfed almost the entire island. It moved in strange patterns, creating unidentifiable forms within the mist, and hungered for life. The thickest rustled as we walked by, whether moved by the winds or by creatures we couldn't tell. The trees were shaped strangely, with shimmering portals forming in their empty husks. Our own quiet breaths were often interrupted by shrill, shrieking sounds that seemed to come from right above us. It was almost idyllic or scary. It was mostly scary. I wouldn't have minded scrolling around until we ran into something roaming the island, but it was a little cold, so I found a local to ask for directions. While wandering around, we came across a clearing surrounded by tall trees. Or rather, one tree. All of them were connected, intertwined with one another. So an ant tree? I think that's what that is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Through one of their twisted connections, a waterfall with no discernible origin was falling into a small pond. And in its mist rested a nymph, a real nymph. Doing taxes? She was waving flowers crowns for the fish. She was beautiful, with a long black hair and skin that glistened in the sunlight being reflected off the waterfall. Her eyes were like sparkling gemstones, and her smile was full of kindness. She was alright, but also the only person around. So Fable asked her for directions? No, Fable asked her about everything but directions. I asked her for directions. She was very helpful. She even gave us a gift. A gift? That's sweet. She gave us earplugs against the Banshee's song so our bones shouldn't shatter. Very, very helpful. Did you offer to write her a jingle in return? I did. She said if we were to survive the encounter with the Banshee, I should come back and she'd think of what she'd need a jingle for. She was thinking about setting up a dragonfly exhibit, so maybe for that? Who would she even advertise to? Frogs? And toads? The Banshee was our first priority, so we stealthily made our way to the lonesome lagoon with earplugs in our ears. We mostly walked and talked about our favorite dragonflies. As we finally approached the lagoon, lonesome lagoon, the thick mist enveloped us. It suddenly became so cold we could see our own ragged breaths. And then we heard it, a song filled with all the sorrow of the world compressed into a single note. It sounded really nice. There was so much emotion in the song: sadness, longing, yearning, anger. We wanted to be polite and wait until she was done singing, but she just kept going, like tears that wouldn't stop. So I decided to be a little rude, stepped forward, and said hello. They said, "Hello, Banshee, I really like your song." That confused the Banshee so much that she stopped. She smiled, bearing a row of deadly sharp teeth. She was very nice, actually. She asked if we wanted to steal from her lagoon. When we said no, she invited us to sing along. Did you? Of course. It was kind of fun. It was, and I thought, what better time to bring up the Miriam organ but now. So I led with, I bet you do this with your girlfriend all the time, right? She suddenly looked at me with a hatred and anger, and then just started screaming. I was very thankful for the earplugs at that moment. I think maybe without them, my bones might have melted. That was our cue to leave, so I pulled Fable back into the thicket of the thorn forest. Obviously, we couldn't just leave at that failure, so we looked around for a peace offering. We found some spiky pink fruits with the pattern of a little ghost tortoise on them. We thought she might like them. That's an interesting fruit. She liked them enough to stop screaming at us, and we sat down at the side of the lagoon to talk. It's beautiful, by the way. Right in the middle is the giant portal to the Twilight Chasm. It colors the water this deep dark blue with swirling clouds of darkness within. There were bones floating in the lagoon too. I almost brought one for the tavern. Why didn't you? I'm glad you didn't. You know what? Why didn't you? I thought you wouldn't like it. I love bones. I'll keep that in mind for the future. The Banshee actually fished out some bones to fidget with. Fished out, okay. It stopped her from screaming every time she brought up the Mara Morgan. Or Marmor, as she called her. Turned out the Mara Morgan had been ignoring all of her calls. Ever since the Banshee was crowded, Gaia's scariest monster by Screech Megazin? Okay. He told us it carved a hole in their relationship that it caused a lot of jealousy. And she was disappointed that the Myra Morgan cared more about some stupid popularity contest than her. We asked her if she wanted to talk about it with Myra Morgan herself, but she said that she didn't need to apologize for being scary. She was very thankful she got to talk about it, though. She was holding it all in because she didn't want to burden Baya with all the drama. She even offered for us to spend the night at her nearby cave, which was really nice of her. Did you end up taking a nap at her lair? We thought about it, but it was filled to the brim with the riches of the dead, which was far too alluring to allow us to fall to the call of sleep. You found loot. You have my attention. What did you find? Gold, bones, skulls, jewels of all sizes, and a lute. It was broken, but I picked it up anyway. There was also a delicate silver mirror that had hearts carved all over it. Kumo recognized it as a magical form, its arcane markings. Lena allowed me them in some book the other day. When the wizard and Zephyr showed us around this library, it was a mirror of far speech. It lets you speak to anyone on this plane, given that you've seen them before. So you called Melly? No, we called Mara Morgan. Ah, that makes more sense. How did it go? Ah, well, I had to be the one to make the call, and since Imo had never met her. When her face appeared, all I could do was stare in horror as she gazed back at me. I felt like I was back in the Ashen Grove, leading adventurers to their doom, and I just froze. So I took the mirror out of her hands. Her first words were the threats of what she would do to us if we had dared to harm the Banshee. Of course we hadn't. That briefly calmed her down. Until I asked her why she wasn't here, if she was so worried about the Banshee well-being. Avoiding the question, she instead talked to us about the state of the lagoon. She complained that it must be incredibly loud with all the tourists and whatnot. I assured her there were no tourists, at least none that were alive. So she asked what I was doing in the lair then. Honestly, I replied that the Banshee had offered us a place to stay in her cave. I quickly realized that I had picked the wrong thing to say. Her eyes started bleeding black ichor, and she began cursing us out in tongues. The mirror cracked in under her gaze and started to bleed black water. It was terrifying. And then we were just supposed to sleep there, as if she couldn't crawl out of the mirror any second. After that happened, I thought that we shouldn't discuss our further plans in the cave. So I pulled Fable outside and we went for a walk. The nymph had mentioned this enchanted flower filled where she collected flowers for the fish. So we went there. Thought it might be a good spot. It was a good spot. Even though I couldn't stop shaking for a while, though the flowers really helped, as did not being alone. Was that when Homo braided your hair? It was, yes. My hair kept falling in my face as it was overwhelming me. So he sat down and braided it anyway while I worked on rebuilding the lute. He said that some distraction would help. Talking also really helped. Even if I asked a lot of stupid questions. They weren't stupid, just curious. Did you have a favorite one? They asked where I learned to braid hair. That actually brought us further on our quest. How so? Well, I learned it from my mother. It's the only thing only thing I feel I have left of her. It was her way of apologizing. She was never very good with words. It made me think sometimes people aren't very direct with what they want, what they mean. I've heard of that, yes. Like the Myra Morgan. She didn't seem angry, but the Banshee outdoing her in some fear Tegnit? Tingent? I don't know. She didn't even mention it once. She only got upset when she thought we had hurt the Banshee. Or when she thought we were tourists. Or when we said we were staying in the cave. Like she was jealous of something entirely different from some issue of Skirch Maga H Zin. We talked it through and decided we had to get the two of them to talk face to face. Obviously it would be difficult because of the distance, but I had taken the mirror with me when we left. It might be useful. Ever the thief. Indeed, I used it to call Baya. I asked her to tell the Myra Morgan to come to Boris. Fable mentioned she can teleport via plants. However that works. She can. You should try it out. It's nauseating. I think we'll pass. While I went to talk to Banshee, Imbo picked up the Myra Morgan. Excuse me. She and I are really connected on eyeliner techniques. Yep, he's straight up a sweetheart, dude. When we arrived at the lagoon, they were immediately ready to claw at each other's throats. And not in a fun way. But somehow we managed to convince them to sit down. We tried to get them to talk about their feelings, but they just kept talking fast and over and away from each other, arguing about an issue that didn't exist. So I had this crazy idea. I took out my new flute and asked them if they wanted to write a song together. They declined and insisted their voice would clash, but I thought at the very least it'll stop them from arguing. Kimbo helped me convince them by summoning tiny rain clouds, pitter-pattering in gentle melodic. You know what I was trying to say? Rhythms. To inspire them to give it a try. We asked them to put all of their emotion about the whole situation into a song. In the end, they harmonized together perfectly, like their voices were made for each other and the gentle hum of my lute. It was beautiful. A little bone-shattering, but very romantic. Most importantly, the song finally got them to understand each other. The Kumo had suspected the Myra Morgan was scared, not jealous. Not that the Banshee was so popular. She feared the Banshee would become really busy with tourists visiting all the time. She assumed she wouldn't have time for her anymore. But the Banshee assured her she doesn't care about any of the tourists. Only about the Myra Morgan and Baya, of course. We told them to talk to her too. And mentioned how much she had been missing them. They agreed to meet for a tea party in the Ashen Groves, so Baya doesn't have to travel too far. Did you invite them to be to your barbecue? No. After the outpouring of emotions, they wanted some time for themselves. The quest was done. I had only taken 2 days, which was really efficient. Unfortunately, we had told the ship to pick us up in 3 days, so we were trapped on the island. So you swam back? What? No. What's wrong with you? The usual. We started brainstorming about what we could do while we waited. So I asked about the cheesecake recipe. But then I realized there wasn't anywhere to bake it. They don't have any taverns or on Boris. It was a stupid idea. It wasn't. Somewhere on the island had to be something to bake a cheesecake in. Did you find that something? We did, but it turned into its own small quest. First, we had to find the right place for our little adventure. We met these lovely gnomes living in their little mushroom houses, and they offered to let us use their oven. But they were too small, so they introduced us to the local Toad Hill giant. Its kitchen was enormous, but it was easier to work in than one that was too small. Then the gnomes and the nymphs and the giant helped us gather ingredients from all across the island. So we were able to make enough cheesecake for everybody. I burned mine a bit, but when we made the second batch for the ship's crew, they were already starting to turn out better. Toma is a really good teacher, and you're a really good student. Thank you. The cake really lifted the crew's spirit on the journey back. We agreed to teach them the recipe once we hit land. Afterwards, they invited us to the captain's birthday party. They even introduced us to the traveling obelisk, who sang us a song of the ancients. It showed us a shortcut through the Relief Mountains range, where we met some flaming songbirds. And now you're here. And now we're here. Well, I'm glad you came back. Glad you two didn't run off into the sunset together. I'm half tempted. I'm glad you came back. I'm glad you two didn't run off into the sunset. You know what? Just to see what happens. I would never not tell you about my adventures. That's not what I meant. It just seems to me like you really enjoy your time together. I thought maybe you wanted some more. Where are you two going next? I should probably talk to Melina. I just exposed her feelings. She was pretty mad when I left. I guess I should apologize while I still can. Good idea. Do you want me to come with you? No, I think I need to do this alone, or rather with her. I have to check in on Rufus too. Maybe Hex taught her some fun magic tricks in the meantime. You left her with Hex? And with Grace? Don't worry, nothing was set on fire. I should go. But before I go, do you maybe want to do something together later today or tomorrow? Like a thing? That is adorable, dude. He's finally asking her out. Oh, like a hangout together? We could play cards with the werewolves. That's not what he means, Fable, at all. I think he meant hanging out as in a date. Yeah, is that what you were thinking of doing? No, a date. Did you? Maybe I did. Oh. Fable, come on, say yes. Okay, that sounds really fun. Awesome. Cool, I'll pick you up, or I'll see you around, or whatever. I'll see you. I'm looking forward to it. Me too. That's fucking adorable, dude. He asked me on a date. He did? That's... Oh, what do I do now? Do you think Archie has books on dating, or should I ask the Hydra for advice? It probably knows about dating, right? Archie is still on his quest. Also, I'm right here. You're right. What should I do? Let's go see where it takes you. No one said you actually have to go. Nah. Just go. See where it takes you. Or where he takes you. Hopefully somewhere nice. I do feel safe with him, so maybe I should try trusting him more. Mostly, I think you should just be honest with him. He seems to like you for who you are, so there's no need to hide. That's the scary thing. Why does he feel that way? Because you are very lovely. People keep saying that. But sometimes I just feel a lot lovelier hiding, you know? To me, it sounds like it's perhaps a bit too late for that. Sorry for listening in. The two were just very sweet. It's okay. I also thought it was very sweet. He was very sweet. But now that he's gone, I have time to think again. And I'm not sure if it was supposed to be that type of sweet anymore. Maybe he was just being nice. He asked you on a date because he was just being nice? Well, maybe he felt bad for me or something. Dude, the guy was blushing and stuttering the whole way. He was not joking around. Come on. He didn't feel bad about it either. He honestly likes you, Fable. Innkeeper dear, I think Fable might be in need of another drink. Yeah, maybe something to untangle her thoughts, something for a quick escape from all of this overthinking. That sounds good. I'll see what I can do. Yeah, after that. Dexterity, okay. I forgot what. There we go. Swift strike. Do that one. Simple. Good point. Dex all the way to the very tip top. And a little bit of defense. And a little bit of intelligence. And there we go. Swift strike. Order up. Does this help? Very much so. Thank you. I feel like now I can uncurl the yarn ball that is my brain. What do I think I should do? What do you think I should do? What do you want to do? I want to go on our date, and I want to get to know him better. Maybe even get him to know me better too. Do you think he would like that? I think so, yes. It seems like you don't need our answer. You have yours already. Sometimes I just feel like I need permission to listen to my heart. Did you know you can give that permission to yourself? I forget that every time, but I know you're right. I think I know what to do now, somewhat. But I'll figure the rest out. Thank you for listening to me. I think sometimes that's all I really need when I'm scared. There's nothing wrong with being scared, as long as you don't run from the things that make you happy. You're right. It took me a while to realize that running is so easy, you know? You always know where to go away. But staying, you have to actually look at yourself, figure out what your part is in everything. That can be a lot. But when I was on the journey back from Boris, dancing with Como to the music of the Navigator's fiddle. Oh, they were dancing too? Why am I getting like this? I don't normally do this. I don't care. Thinking about how I would have never gotten to that point if I hadn't put myself out there. I realized that life is so much more than a constant game of hide and seek from the things that truly mean something. And I decided to stop running from life even if I'm scared. I want to do my best to face my problems. Even though it's terrifying, I know that I'm not alone. Is this still about Kumo? No, he was never a problem. He's one of the reasons I'm not alone. Just like you. With a good friend by my side, I can do anything. I don't know if you should do everything. And I can't wait to see what you will do. It might not be as impressive as you hope. But it will be me, and I'm excited about that. Me too. I'm really proud of you, Fable. Thank you for everything, especially the great advice. That was really great advice. Maybe you should take some of it too, Grace. Maybe you should. Probably. But we all can conquer life at our own pace. My personal next Goliath is going to be replaying my lip gloss. Reapplying. Okay, I'm a dork. And maybe some blush. I do feel a little pale. Can I borrow a mirror for a bit, Innkeeper? Of course. There are some free rooms and mirrors upstairs next to the acorn chimes. Just ignore the doors with the do not enter sign. You shouldn't have said that. Now I want to check. Oh god. Please don't. I won't. I'm polite. Or am I? Oh god. Let's hope she won't find all the nightmare creatures you have locked up there. Let's. Have you ever visited the Twilight Chasm? Not for long enough to capture my creatures. Any creatures. I see. Awkward silence. What are you thinking about, Innkeeper? Oh, you know, Innkeeper things. I don't. I mean, since I'm not an innkeeper and all. Right. The song you mentioned, the one that you started writing on the ship. I know it's not done yet, but how about a little sneak peek? To see if it would make for a good jingle. I don't think it's a jingle. Material, yeah. But I don't mind sharing it with you. Just keep in mind that it's a work in progress. Of course. There's a calling on the wind beneath the top of the keep. I've heard the tales set sails. Now it's time for me to leave. That song's like a great opener. So you like it? It's wonderful. It's okay. Not my favorite. It's wonderful. Come on. I can't wait to hear more. Me too. But it's still a little rough around the edges. I feel like it's missing something. Maybe the next adventure? Maybe. Will you let me know when it's done? Of course. I can't wait to show you the finished version. Thank you, Fable. I'm proud of you. For maybe finally finishing the song? For not running. Oh, thank you. Me too. Innkeeper, do you ever think about taking your own advice? All the time, yes. Oh god, you just straight up called me out now. Why don't you? I don't know. It's hard, I know, but I promise I believe in you as much as you believe in me. And I know we'll both be okay. I would like that. Me too. Well, I've talked a lot today. I'll give you some space. Maybe it's time to stop running. Should I? Is it time to read that letter? Yes. Oh, that was easy. I guess I've been waiting to you for a while. Let's hope for no regrets. My dearest friend, long has it been since we've talked last? Long has it been since everything has been seared away by the cold flames of death. I wish I could still remember our last conversation, but it's a waning memory. I can only imagine how you enjoyed running away, wishing to forget whatever was between us. Maybe you did for a brief moment, for these 30 years. Wow. If you did, I'm writing this letter to kindly remind you of the good old times, to celebrate our reunion. I invite you to the spectacle of this century, the last day of the astral moon welcoming the first light of the dying moon, where the realm of Tavern is just a grasp away. Are there any spirits you'd like to remember? Are you afraid of what they might tell you? Worry not, I'll be right there. Watch the sky closely on the 30th of Cassiopeia. See you soon, an old friend. Wow. That was the mysterious gathering courage to open the letter. Okay. That was, I guess we've always been a fan of symbolism. But you didn't even leave an address. Very irresponsible. Akaswa. Pardon? No time. Duck. Now. The hell? What's going on? Are you okay? Do you need help? Healing? Something's coming. Something's big. Your next show? What? No. There's no time. Duck. Is the ground... Earthquake? Oh, no. What the hell? Is everyone all right? I think so. We're underwater. Yes. Phew, that was close call. Could have been really dangerous. What just happened? Why is there water outside of the tavern? It's also like, I'd also like to know the answer to that question. I've got no clue. I was just outside by the woods, drafting my newest song when the ground beneath my feet began to rumble. Not even a minute passed and it rumbled again. Then a wall of water came rushing toward me. I didn't even dare to wait. I ran immediately looking for shelter. No way I was gonna let my Agium get wet. These strings are made of real Tavern silk and the body of eternal bamboo. It's a rarity. That's the first thing going through your mind with a giant wave rushing right at you. Of course, this instrument is just as valuable as my hands, and just as versatile. Is everything alright? Grace, dragons, you're alright. I was worried something had happened to you. Oh, don't worry. When the wall started rumbling, I hid under a table and then I watched the water rush by the windows. It was like a tsunami, but tsunamis are very rare, if not impossible, so far into the mainland. Right. So it's so strange. Everything seems to be submerged out there. I wonder what could cause such a catalysm. It's worrying, to say the least. And it's definitely too dangerous to go outside. Even the tavern is leaking. Don't worry, it'll withstand. Are you sure? I'm sure. I've gotten through it worse than this. Have you? You? I meant it's gotten through it worse than this. Wouldn't have thought it could withstand this sort of thing, but even more so glad it can. Seems to be a simple yet very sturdy tavern after all. Just like you, innkeeper. Are you flirting with the innkeeper? Me? No. Also, that's besides the point. Is it? It is. He just called me sturdy and simple. I wouldn't count that as flirting. You wouldn't? I mean, now that he's saying that, yeah, he was flirting regardless. Overall, moving on. Not really. Aww. Right back to the point. Did you see exactly what happened? Not really. I was listening to the whistle of the wind and the tree tops, jotting down notes for my next song. When suddenly a horde of silver-crested deer rushed past me. Before they could trample over me, I jumped on the rock I was sitting on and watched them gallop down the hill. And I saw water break through the canopy, snapping trees in half like they were shock skewers. No idea. I wasted no second. I turned on my heel, knowing I'd be done for if I waited just a moment longer. Then I was here and told you to duck. That sounds horrible. Are you alright? Are you hurt? I'm fine, thanks. And anyway, with whom do I have the pleasure? I'm Grace. Oh god. Nice to meet you, Grace. I am... you're Voyage, aren't you? The silver-tongued virtuoso? Yes, that would be me. My apology, I didn't mean to push any boundaries. But I saw you perform at Dropstone Institution's campus that one time. And I must say, you pulled on all my heartstrings with your beautiful performance. Oh? I did that? Yes. I was awestruck by what your music could do. It was like magic in its very own way. Music can be very soothing in moments of distress. Were you distressed back then? A little. I don't remember exactly why anymore, but I remember the emotion. But not more distressed than I am right now. I hope Tex is safe and well. I'm sure he is. Shoot, did you see the creature swim by? Did you see this creature swim by? No, I didn't. What? Where? It looked like a red-winged eel. Oh, haven't seen one of those in ages. Where's the natural habitat? Actually, the Twilight Chasm. Why is it here? The hell? Something isn't right. I'm afraid you might be correct. I'm also afraid, very much so. I don't think it's safe to go outside. Obviously. Of course not. You should all stay for the night. Would that be possible? Of course. The tavern will withstand this, and a bit of company wouldn't hurt. I agree. Thank you, innkeeper. Say you with the loot. What's your name? Fable. My name is Fable. Do you play the lute, I mean? Sometimes. I'm still practicing and not all that good with it yet. How about we play together a song or two to lift our spirits and wait at the catastrophe going on outside. It's very untuned. It goes out of tune really quickly, but I guess that's a lute thing. I got you. Show it to me. I'll help you, and then we'll jam until a new dawn rises. Blub, sleep with fishes. Lovely. That's utterly terrifying. And now we get into Act 3 for the next episode. So if you were enjoying this series and would like to find out what the hell just happened, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for future videos. Whether it is indie games, horror games, RPGs, or cozy games. Peace, guys.